There is some really dark, sinister stuff going on with the AI agency business model, but I'm starting one. And what I'm going to do in this video is explain the contradiction there, but more importantly, what you need to bear in mind with the agency boom that's going on right now in the AI space. I've been in this industry watching gurus come and go, watching business models come and go, watching trends come and go for 6-7 years. I've been making videos on it for 5 years. And I have outlasted probably 30, 40, 50, 60 gurus who have tried to sell courses and failed. And the only reason that I've outlasted them is because I've been able to get one thing right, and that is understanding trends and understanding what to avoid and understanding what pitfalls different business models have. And like every other trend, whether it's dropshipping or SMMA or Amazon FBA or anything like that, the AI agency model has some serious flaws, and in this video I want to address them. Now, I'm starting an AI agency. I'm about to build an AI arm to my current consulting infrastructure so that I can sell AI services to my clients and also teach people how to do AI services. However, this is a big however. There are some big real issues currently facing the market and some trends that I'm observing that I want to talk to you about today, because if you don't understand these, you can get caught and you're going to fail. First of all, let's talk about something. Suddenly, over the last sort of 3 to 6 months, every single guru who was peddling SMMA as the best thing ever is now peddling AI and saying that SMMA doesn't work. Let me just help you think something through critically for a second here. SMMA, the marketing agency trend, works and worked because all businesses need more customers. The AI agency trend works because all business owners need more time. So there's two things that business owners need: customers and time. And if you give them more customers or more time, then you're adding value, you're going to be able to sell things. Those two principles are the only two things that really prop up those industries that actually get results. Just quickly whilst I got you here, first link in the description is a free program called Imperium Academy. It's a 6-week program, gives you step-by-step instructions to build an agency with over 80 hours of content and 20,000 members, completely free, no credit card required. It'll help you get your first client or maybe first 10 clients. It's in the description. And so whether you're selling marketing services or whether you're selling AI services, you're not really selling marketing and you're not really selling automation. You're selling money or time. Okay, you're selling more money or more time, and that's what people want to buy. And what a lot of people misunderstand when they create their NAN agencies or their automation agencies is they create their offer and they structure their business around selling these little shiny objects and these little automations, when really they just need to tell the business owners they can save them more time. But let me tell you something. It seems strange that all of a sudden, all of the gurus in the space have gone from selling SMMA as this sort of golden child business model to now the AI agency model. And there's obviously a reason for that, and it's called a trend. It's the gold rush, right? But the truth is that the gold rush for SMMA, in my opinion, isn't over. And what I would be doing now if I was going to start an agency is I wouldn't throw SMMA out of the water completely, because everyone right now is moving towards AI. And that means that everyone is moving from SMMA into AI. And what we're observing here is a massive biblical, irrational transition of shiny objectness into a different sort of business model, into a different value proposition. And so what that means right now is I would probably estimate that, I don't know, something like 50 to 60 to maybe even 70% of the SMMA competition is now gone. Which means there's less outreach happening for marketing services, less ads are being run, less content's being created, and above all, less cold calls are happening, less sales calls are being conducted. There's less competition, there's less noise now. And so what that means is SMMA is still very much viable because the need for more customers hasn't gone away. But so much of the supply in fulfilling on that demand has now left the market. And so if you're considering starting an agency, the AI agency thing is great, and you can make a lot of money with that, and it's a big trend. But be careful disregarding our old friend SMMA, because there's still a lot of demand there, and the supply is very quickly diminishing, and there's less and less fulfillment. The second thing is a lot of businesses right now, and you don't want to do this. If you do this, you're fucked. A lot of businesses right now are using AI as their unique selling point. And so what they're doing is they're adding AI, and I'm doing this myself, right? So I'm saying in my ads and my funnels, like I use AI to help you get customers, client acquisition with AI, etc. So like that's fine, but that's only going to work for about 6 more months. And what's happening with a lot of people starting their businesses and their agencies, and what they're doing with their businesses, is they're making their moat, i.e. their business advantage or their unique selling point, about using artificial intelligence. This is stupid, because artificial intelligence is like electricity. It's basically going to be adopted by everything and everyone, and to the point where every single service and everything that anyone does will naturally use AI, whether it's cars, whether it's restaurants, whatever. Think of it like this. 12 months from now, saying that you use AI as your unique selling point for your business would be like a restaurant in this day and age saying that they have lights. And you might be confused by that, but here's the thing. When electricity and the light bulb was discovered, it wasn't universally available to everyone. And restaurants were candlelit and they had to shut at certain hours because there wasn't any light. When the light bulb was rolled out and the electricity grid was built and everything, the restaurants that had lights were way more appealing because they could stay open for longer and it was a novelty factor and you could eat in proper lighting and see your food and stuff. And so back then, just after electricity had been invented, the restaurants that had lights could actually say, hey, we have lights on, that's our unique selling point. Same thing with central heating, same thing with, trains that had steam engines or whatever. And it's like, but now if a restaurant said, oh, we've got lights, so you should come to us, everyone's like, well, every restaurant's got lights, duh. And that's what's going to happen with AI. All the businesses right now that are getting lazy with their marketing, getting lazy with their offering, getting lazy with their positioning, and just leaning on this AI trend are going to fail. Because the harder you lean on this AI thing, the harder you'll fall when it's pulled away, because eventually everyone has it. Like, it's no longer going to be a sort of impressive, unique selling point in 6 to 12 months because everyone's now adopting it. Even Grammarly, like the software that corrects your English, is now AI powered. Like, this is the thing, is this marketing message will lose its advantage in the next 6 to 12 months. It just will. It's no different from literally being in the restaurant that, is like, oh, we've got lights on. It's like, well, everyone's got lights on now, so why do I care about that? It's not a unique selling point. And what we then learn, what we observe in all business history, is the advantage when the shiny object dissipates, which this will, because everyone will adopt it, is the advantage comes from having the best product. Because then you ask yourself, well, which restaurant do you go to? It's not the one that has the nicest lighting. It's not the one that has air conditioning. It's not the one that has, a certain feature that every other restaurant has. It's about the service and the food. And so the same thing is true with these businesses that we're running, is it's about the quality of the product and how good results you can get. It's not about whether you use AI or not. It is for now because everyone's hungry and everyone's this massive shiny trend, but the faster this trend builds, the faster it will collapse. And I promise you that what will be happening in the next 12 months is so many businesses are going to be left in the wake of this trend just sort of dying and no one caring. It's kind of like corporations that made themselves LGBTQ friendly. Do you remember this when a couple of years ago, when suddenly all these corporations started having rainbow flags on their logos and having all these woke statements and stuff in their marketing and their messaging, and now the corporations don't seem to care anymore. And that's because every corporation did it to the point where it was no longer a unique selling point, and it was actually the better selling point was to not have it so you look different. And now this is how trends cycle. So that's an important thing to bear in mind. And the AI agency thing and selling AI services is very much a gold rush right now. But what I want you to imagine is that in this internet money game, there are sort of two gold rush towns where, they're in the west of America in the gold rush age in the 1900s, whatever. One town number one is the SMA town. And people have been digging gold out of that thing for 10 years. But there's still lots of gold left, but it's just getting harder to reach because you've got to go a little bit deeper. And what's happened is recently in the last year or two is town number 2 has been discovered, which is the AI agency town. And now everyone is now flooding from SMMA town, from dropshipping town, from FBA town into the AI agency town. And everyone's digging for gold. But what that means is you can rush to the new model and you can dig the gold and probably make a lot of money. But at the same time, you can still go back to the SMA town and you're going to find there's probably 90% less people there than there were a year ago, which means that the gold reserves start to sort of refill. And this is the interesting thing about this metaphor, is when there's less supply to meet the demand, the sort of reserves of the thing that you were trying to capitalize on refill. So I'd be looking at starting an agency in the marketing space right now, or starting a hybrid thing where you do SMA and AI together and sort of implementing both of those. So that's an important thing. Now, another thing I want to talk about is something that is really honestly quite dangerous and scary for AI agencies. And that is the fact that in probably 2 years from now, 3 years max, 18 months maybe even, automation will not be something that's necessarily sellable. It won't be. And this is fine because there's still going to be lots of other models that you can use to sell AI services and stuff like that. But let me help you think critically. Right now, you can go to a roofer and you can charge them $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever to build them an NAN, automation template to, do voice calling for them in reception. Right now, you can do that and you can sell that, and there's money to be made in there at the moment. But these tools are going to mature, and these tools are going to get incredibly good, and all these tools are going to start using large language models to basically get to the point where you can literally just dictate what you want and it will be delivered. So eventually what will happen in 2 to 3 years is a roofer will be able to pay $47 a month for a tool where they can just say, hey, build me a receptionist bot for my business now. And then the tool will just create it for them. That's where we're headed. And so there's going to be very little value in understanding how to use these tools, because what's happening is you're competing with artificial intelligence on how to use these tools. Understand, when you're an agency, when you sell marketing services, recruitment services, AI services, your clients are buying your intelligence, and specifically your intelligence to use specific tools. So if you're a marketing agency owner, you have an intelligence on how to use Go High Level or ClickFunnels or Facebook ads or Meta ads or Hyros. If you're an AI agency, you have specific intelligence on how to use Make.com, how to use Clay, how to use NAN, and all these other resources and tools, right? And so what will happen is all of these tools, all of these sort of big softwares are getting smart to this, and they're building AI to basically become intelligent on how to use these softwares to the point where the software can be executed by a simple voice prompt. And that's where we're headed. And so, I honestly think probably 2 years from now, the whole selling automations thing won't have any validity, because like, if you don't believe me, and if you're sort of rolling your eyes at this and not believing me, let's have a look at a very specific case study and case in point of web development. So when the internet was created in the early 2000s, websites was hardly a thing, and then they suddenly became everything. Everything was about having a website. Everything was about having an online presence and building a website. And so what happened is you got these companies being created called web development companies that would have to manually, there was no Squarespace, there was no WordPress, they would manually code the website for you, and they made a killing. Like, it was a good time to be a web development agency in 2010, 2012, 2008, because business owners hadn't quite adopted this idea of the internet yet, and nobody knew how to do this. Then what happened is the tools came along. And so, Squarespace comes along, WordPress comes along, all these other website development, tools come along. And what the web design agencies do is they figured out how to use these tools to deliver faster results and ship faster websites. And because the business owners still didn't quite know how to use these tools, even though they could figure it out, they wanted to pay someone to do it for them. And so the golden age of web development was the real place to make money was in the custom builds before the tools were available. Then it was basically about, using the tools. But now web development agencies are fucked, because you can go to a AI tool, dictate in 60 seconds what you want your website to be, and it will give you a custom built website, fully integrated, fully built within 60 seconds for like $100 or cheaper. So this is exactly what's going to happen with the AI agency automation model specifically. Is 3-4 years ago, before ChatGPT existed, before large language models existed, before Claude existed, before NAN existed, before all these things existed, you had Zapier, and that was pretty much it. But a lot of people were building custom AI solutions and custom automation solutions for very high ticket. That was the equivalent of us having the internet being launched and websites needing to be developed for like stupid prices. Now we've got these tools, and now that the tools are more available and the barrier to entry and the skill gap is lower, like you don't have to learn to code anymore. You don't have to learn a new language, the language of computers. All you've got to do is just learn some tools and how to click around in a resource. And so, that's where we're at now. And this will last for 2 to 3 years. But what will happen in the next, honestly, 2 to 3 years, if not sooner, is you're going to get with these tools what we have now with websites. Like I saw the other day someone who has this product for you can basically create custom Shopify dropshipping stores by dictating, or just by a fucking language prompt. That's where we're headed. And so if you're under the impression that's not going to happen for the AI automation space, you are sorely mistaken. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't start an AI agency. And it doesn't mean that you can't make money with an AI agency. It just means that you're going to have to get way better at adding value and adapting and evolving with these tools over time, and figuring out ways to basically, still introduce AI and automation services, but realizing really that the market's going to mature, and a lot of these people that just rely on selling automations are going to be wiped out in the same way that web development agencies are now really struggling to get clients, because the tools to fulfill their service exist, if that makes sense. And so, that's a really scary thing that's going to hit a lot of people and are going to sort of, end up in a bad way. But just ponder on this for me and think about it, because when every single guru suddenly switches their messaging from start an SMMA to start an automation agency, it makes you realize, obviously they're selling shovels, right? So, they're the ones that make the real money. And trust me, I know this because I'm literally one of them. And I have every intention on probably doing the same thing. I'm going to start an AI agency myself for my clients so that I can upsell and cross-sell AI services. But the person that I'm going to partner with for that, who's basically already made like $1 million in their agency or so, we'll be able to sell how to do that as well. And so that's the game. That's fine. But I wanted to make this video to kind of just warn you about this whole, like, AI is not this fucking shiny object that you think it is. It's not this silver bullet or this crazy thing. Everyone thought the same thing about electricity. Everyone thought the same thing about like the internet. Everyone thought the same thing about SMMA. Everyone thought the same thing about Alibaba. These are just tools and resources that just basically come and go. And there'll be another trend. There'll be something else in the future. I don't know what it will be yet, but don't get swept up in it, and remember to think critically and conduct your own analysis, and don't just be drawn by this mass incentive towards the shiny object. So that's everything. By the way, if you are starting an agency, I've got the best course in the world, and it's completely free on how to do that. Whether you're starting a marketing agency, an AI agency, or a coaching and consulting business, link in the description. It's called Imperium Academy. It's a 6-week training program with 80 hours of content that gives you step-by-step instructions on how to start a business and sign your first couple of clients and make thousands of dollars every single month online. It's completely free, no credit card, and honestly, I don't get paid if you click it, so I don't really care. But you can check it out if you want to. It is within your interest. And yeah, that's everything. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.